Hello everyone, this is Andrea Kilpatrick. I am 2019 and I am so happy to be here with you today. I am so sorry, I am trying to figure out my, there we go. I couldn't get on. Hello, it's so great to see everybody today. I'm so glad you tuned in. Again, as I said, I am Andrea Kilpatrick, MRS.CLASSIQUE Globe 2019, and I see that all my friends are signing on. Today's show for changes, transitions with grace. I have a guest that I had a couple months ago when I first started this whole thing with the MRS.GLOBE organization and the WIN Foundation. She had such a great story and such a wonderful presence, and her soul is just so sweet that I wanted to bring her back on because we had a really bad connection and it was the beginning of the show, and I really, I kind of felt my way through it, and I know my audience, and I just love all of you guys, and I know this is something I'm extremely passionate about. The other day, Dr. Tracy Kimball and Alicia did an interview about manifestation, and I started thinking from the show that I had done with Miss Debbie PERMODA before, and it's such an important thing, manifesting and believing in positivity and energy, and as we mature, and since the show is changes, and as we mature, our soul is developing and changing as well. So I really wanted to bring her back on, and I really wanted to connect with you guys with the whole manifesting and believing in positivity and having that wonderful energy, and manifesting the things that you want in your life and being peaceful at the age that we are. I think life is so chaotic and things are so crazy, especially now. And I know it's a constant reminder as the days progress, and it gets better, and then it doesn't get better, and whatever city or country you're in, you're just hanging on, almost like that poster of a cat where they're just kind of hanging on and hoping to goodness that nothing else more could possibly happen. But as I'm alone and I think about things and just trying to kind of come to terms with my age and things that are changing, not only with our body, but with our minds, and trying to become a whole, complete person and a graceful, happy soul. I do a lot of manifestations. I write in my journal. I do a lot of soul searching, and I like to connect with people who feel the same way. I was talking to a friend the other day who said that I was kind of way out there, and she did mean that as a compliment, and I thank her for that. I am very, very open-minded, and I've become more open-minded, more so as I've gotten older, and experience the things that I've experienced, and interacting with the people that I've interacted with, and people come and go in your life, and I think it's amazing. And I truly believe that people are put into your life for a reason, and then when they're not in your life anymore, maybe you've learned all the lessons that you've learned from them, and you need to connect with other people, or you need to connect with yourself and find that self-love that Dr. Tracy tries to instill in all of us, and finding who you are again, and loving yourself, and knowing that you are enough. Hi everybody, how are you? Today's guest I'm going to have, again, as I said earlier, she is show my hair. That's very interesting. Somebody's asking me to show my hair. She was on a couple months ago. We talked about her son-in-law and basically the universe and how things work. And hi, Tia. and how manifestation works, and the power of the mind and the power of the energy that you put forth, and how that all works together. And the conversation I had with her was so amazing, and the connection was very weak, and I just wanted everybody to kind of connect with her, and we're just going to have this wonderful, amazing conversation with her. And her name is Debbie PERMODA, and she is a former Mrs. Classique, and she is a wonderful addition to the WIN organization. She's a powerful, strong woman, beautiful soul. And I'm just waiting for her to sign on. So hopefully we can get connected with her. Hi, Olga, how are you? Olga's in Texas. How are things going over there in Texas, Olga? So I'm really excited. I guess I'll do a side note with you. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the WIN Foundation. And last night I took a class from Dr. Tracy, and Dr. Tracy is a very wise woman. And the class is called Reclaiming Me. And as I was telling you earlier, with connecting and getting older and trying to connect back with myself and really try to figure out who I am, I kind of learned how my upbringing kind of affected who I am, and the class was amazing. And basically, as it says, reclaiming me, it is definitely reclaiming me, and the interactions that you have with your parents. Last night's module was about having narcissistic parents, and or a narcissistic worker, or maybe even, just a narcissist that happens to be in your life, and why you do the things that you do, and the habits that you have, and how you act, and setting boundaries. And hi, Emily, Olga, they are all well, always nice to see you. And yes, Dr. Tracy has helped me so much throughout the years. Yes, Dr. Tracy is phenomenal. And last night's class that I had sat in was inspiring, to say the least. It really seriously opened up my eyes to some things about me, and some things that I struggle with. And hello, and Killer Bean, Unleashed Forever, very cool Instagram title you have there. It really helped me to connect with her class last night, Reclaiming Me, helped me to connect with why I do the things that I do, and as we get older, why you do the things that you do. And it definitely has to do with your environment and who's raising you. And it's always nice to know that somebody else has gone through it too, and you're not the only one that's doing it alone. And I don't know why it feels better to get that validation, but it does. And I really connected with a lot of things that her class had stated last night with who I am. And I'm just going to keep talking because I'm still waiting for Debbie for Debbie to sign on. And Debbie, if you can hear me, please sign on so we can have this wonderful conversation with you, because I'm sure these people don't want to listen to me babble on. Anyway, last night's class was about reclaiming me, and I do need to reclaim myself, and I've gotten a lot lost lately. That was really a tongue twister. And it was nice to be able to have some insight of, oh, there she is. No, that's not her. Oh, yes, there she is. Hold on. Here she is. Hi, Debbie. Maybe not. Maybe that is her. Oh my gosh. Debbie, are you Debbie Hair Sales? Okay, we're going to do this. Hopefully it's her. Go live with Debbie. Probably should know what her Instagram is, huh? Okay, we're gonna wait till she comes on. Oh, I think here she comes. Here she comes. Oh, there she is. Hi,
Hey,
beautiful.
hey,
How are you? I'm so sorry. I'm just like talking away, like, where is she? Where is she?
how will you guys let me down?
Well, look how stunning you look.
Oh,
And
thanks.
yay, I love sunlight. So great. So great to welcome you back. I given a little bit of insight that we had this wonderful conversation with manifesting and energy and the things that you put out there. And I wanted you to share again your story about your son-in-law and your daughter. And then we'll kind of go from there. Does that sound great?
Sounds good to me.
Great. Okay. So take it away, Miss Debbie.
Thanks. We'll get it all in one shot this time.
Yes, yes. It's so nice to be able to see you. Last time we couldn't even connect video wise.
I
So
know, it was tough. Well, my son-in-law Ryan and my daughter Lacey, they were high school sweethearts, and I've known Ryan since he was 8 years old. And they were married not too long after high school. They planned to have a baseball team, basically, of children. And after 8 years of trying to get pregnant, they could not. They decided to do foster care. And we got a little girl named Lily when she was 10 months old. And we had her until she was 3. The court sent her back to her biological parents for a while. During that time, Ryan and Lacey conceived and had my granddaughter Lexi, just by the grace of God. No fertility, no nothing.
doesn't that always happen? It's
I
like
know,
you
right?
finally accept, okay, I'm gonna,
Yeah,
I'm gonna move on, and then the grace of then God's like, okay.
here you go. But their baseball team was on the way. 3 months after Lexi was born, the court called them and asked if they would like to have Lily back and her brand new baby sister, Jill, who was 10 months old. So the two babies were 7 months apart. So they did take them. And after a couple years of going back and forth to court, they were able to adopt them. So
Oh,
they had 3 of their baseball team and decided that was enough.
yeah.
They all came at once.
Bless their hearts.
Right? It was rough. It was really rough. And so then Lexi, their biological daughter, when she turned 4, she was diagnosed with leukemia. And they caught it really, really early on. And they started her on chemo right away, a 3-year treatment plan with the goal to eventually get her into remission permanently. 6 months after Lexi was diagnosed, Ryan was diagnosed with a really rare form of multiple myeloma, which is a blood cancer.
Oh my gosh.
Terminal, no treatments. He did several clinical trials, which he did really well in. He did a stem cell transplant that put him in remission for about 6 months. And then he did a T-cell transplant and a T-cell transplant with his cells and a donor's cells, which both of those treatments probably gave him about an extra 3 months each. And, Ryan was a very, very spiritual person, just healthy, beautiful, loved my daughter like there just was no tomorrow. I've never seen anyone love so hard as Ryan did. And he was every mother's dream of who you want your child to marry. That was Ryan. I wanted another one with my other daughter. Can we just take 2?
I know. Did he have a brother? No,
No, there was none. He was the only one, just sisters. So yeah, that
would have been
sad.
weird. I'm sorry, that would have been weird. I'm way out there, but that would have been weird.
Right, I know. Good, and it was just my daughter's a nurse, and just having your child and your husband going back and forth for treatment at the same time was just crazy and gut-wrenching. And, you know, I had conversation with Dr. Tracy about this, and, you know, we talked about things that you say and being careful of what you speak and give life to. And, you know, I had said, you know, as parents, when our child is sick, we automatically say, just let me be sick for them and let them be well. And I had often wondered if that's what Ryan had done, and said, let me take this for her so that she lives a long and healthy life. And Ryan was a fighter. He would fight for what he believed in until his last breath, you know, and he fought so hard, and you would have not known times that he had cancer. I mean, every side effect that they said he would have from the clinical trials, he didn't. I always told him he was a cyborg superhero, because they would say, you're going to feel like this, and this, and nothing. He was just the same old Ryan. And until the last treatments, he was in New York for 3 months, and my daughter and the kids traveled back and forth. He had to stay there for 3 months during that treatment. And when he came home from that, it was like there was just something different. And my husband and I kept saying, Ryan's not a quitter, but it feels like he's quit. It feels like he's just not in it. And he started to look sick. It was the first time that he actually started to look like he was sick. And he just kept declining and declining. And it's funny looking back, because about the time he started to decline was when Lexi was in full remission, meaning she was getting no more treatment. Not a medical remission, but she was treatment-free, cancer-free. And it was like, when he had that, it was almost as if he accomplished what he set out to do, you know. And I always say that before we take our first breath, our number of days is already accounted for. We get that number, and it is what it is, and nothing's ever going to change it, regardless of what you believe. But I think Ryan believed he had done that, and it gave him the grace to accept what his number was. It didn't make him feel, he didn't feel ever cheated or like something had been taken away, or why has this happened to me? I never seen him experience anything like that. It was like his belief that he had taken the cancer for her made him accept what his number was. And his number was 14,560. That was how many days we were blessed. And I remember his last day, he couldn't speak or communicate, but he kept watching Lexi. And I just remember looking at him thinking, yeah, you did what you think you did, and you're good with this. And I mean, not that believing that made him have that number. His number was his number no matter what. But it made him accept it, you know. And I think in life, you know, you have to accept things that you don't like. We all have things that aren't so pleasant, and it seems like they're not fair. And him leaving us was definitely not fair. And we miss him terribly. And, you know, my daughter is just lost without him. That's, you know, a part of her. But I just think it's a good example of, you know, manifesting things and what you believe in and what it can do and change in your life.
And people that do not have children, most of Mrs. Globe's audience, most of them have children or their parents, and even fur babies. But you want to give your life for your child, and it's an unforeseeable love that you can never really experience until you have a child, to be able to give yourself, like, people who do not have children don't understand that. Why would you do that? Why would he give his life up for his child? But until you have one, and fur babies or whomever is close to you, you want to do everything you possibly can for that child. And what an amazing soul he was to be able to just kind of do that, to just, but you said he loved hard, and he loved hard until the very last day, his very last breath. And
He did. And, you know, Ryan's gift really that lives on beyond him is that anybody that he met just fell in love with him, and he made you want to be a better person.
mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's truly what will always be here with us and make us think of Ryan. And I can't tell you the numerous people that have told me stories of how he touched their lives. And I always tell my daughter that makes him still be here with us in a sense.
Oh, and you know, you were saying that before you take your first breath, you do have a certain number of days. And I strongly believe, as my friend told me, I'm way out there. I strongly, and she's watching. Hello, friend. I strongly believe that when you are in the spiritual world or whatever, that you create these contracts, and you have these contracts that you, whatever lessons you need to learn or whomever you need to have in your life, it comes into your life, and it's because you have set that plan. And I'm sure he was very well aware of the plan that he had set, and to bring this sweet soul to earth, because she's probably going to move mountains. And
she's so completely amazing. And
yeah.
she's going to do some incredible things, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you did. She's saying she didn't say way out there. I took it as a compliment, friend. I took it as a compliment. So now, you know, you've shared this beautiful story of basically he manifested what he felt he needed to do. What do you do the whole universe thing, writing in your journal, thinking of manifestations that you would like, and especially with everything that's going on now, how do you do the whole manifestation and positive energy and all of that?
You know, I think nothing is by coincidence. You know, everything happens for a reason. And just, you know, examples in our life of, you know, 4 years ago, I had left my job of 8 years, my full-time job, to start my own business. It was a leap of faith, for sure. And, you know, I wasn't sure where it was going. It was in a field I'd worked in for many years. So I was confident in that part. And I just wanted it to be successful to the point that I could work for myself and make what I was making before. And that's really what I foreseen that it would do. And you just never know when you're believing for something, how far beyond what you imagine is possible. You know, I mean, there were times that my husband and I were going, "What have we done? You know, are you sure about this?" And you know, and it was hard at times, but it's been 4 years, and every one of those 4 years, we have retailed over $1.6 million in sales.
Oh my God, girlfriend. Oh my
Right?
gosh. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean,
See,
just
see
beyond what I
people.
imagined.
Yeah.
Beyond what we
See,
imagined. Yeah.
manifestation. And, you know, I was talking to some classroom of kids a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about to just keep going, you know, and it's basically how you word things, and that you think that, you know, especially when you're 15 and 16 and you just think the world is just coming to an end. And
Yeah.
it's really hard to share with them that this is not the be all end all when you're 15 and 16, because you think it is. And I was teaching them about manifesting and believing and trying to think your energy and trying to think positive, and for, you know, kind of just go with the energy. And a couple of the students were like, this doesn't work. You know, this just doesn't work. And so can you maybe give some advice on, because you're obviously a testament of that it does work. If you know, I mean, you will have moments of
Yeah, for
doubt.
sure. And the thing is, it's not instant. It's not magic. You know, there's times that what we believe in is tested, and winning the test means passing it. And when times get tough, are you going to say this isn't working, or are you going to put your big girl panties on and say it is going to work?
That's right.
I mean, like, where I'm sitting in my office at home now, and my husband and I have been married 12 years. Um, before we lived here, lived in his bachelor pad house of 925 square feet, where we intended to retire from and then buy a retirement home. And we used to look at houses online just for fun, and I found one that I liked. And he said, "Oh, I'm working Sunday for the board. There's an open house at that house you liked." We
Mm-hmm.
never ever discussed selling our house or buying a house, not once. Um, and I went to the open house. I do not know why. And when I walked in the door, I was like, "This is my house."
Mm-hmm.
The house is 5,000 square feet, and there's two of us.
It's
I went all
definitely
the
not
way
an
to
empty
Austin.
nester house.
It's not. I told my husband I need you to rent a storage unit because I'm starting to pack because we're moving into that house. And first he said I was crazy, which I think I may still be.
It's okay to be
Um,
crazy.
yes, and he thought I was kidding, and I wasn't. And he kept saying, "That's a big house. Why do we need that house?" And, it wasn't an easy road to make that happen. We lived here for 3 months before our old house was even put on the market. And there were times that I didn't know how I was going to make this happen. And I just kept going. No matter how many bumps in the road I ran into, my husband said, "You were like a bulldog."
Mm-hmm.
You took no for an answer, never. And I said, because I knew this was my house, and I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
giving up until my things were in it. And it was kind of scary moving here without selling the other house. And I told him then, I know it's going to sell. I'm not worried about it. When it did go on the market, it sold in 4 days with multiple offers.
Mm.
I mean, it's just, and I still walk around this house and think, wow, we
Shake your
really do
head.
live here. And it's a lot to clean. My husband's cleaning right now. We're talking. He's knocking. I told him, stay out. Don't walk past the window in the back.
Oh my gosh, that's so
But
funny.
everybody that comes in says, I thought that's a big house for the two of you, but you filled it up. And I have.
Oh yeah, you can. You can. It's
All my
very possible.
home goods is my best friend.
I love that place.
I know, me too. Yeah,
Hours.
we love it here. And the other house, we couldn't have family dinners in or anything because it was, 925 square feet. I have five
Mm-hmm.
grandchildren. It's a
Mm-hmm.
little hard. So the last 2 years, we've had Thanksgiving here. We've had Christmas here. Ryan's last Christmas he spent here in this house with us. I mean, so it's given us a lot of opportunity to spend time with our family. Have them here instead of us constantly going there. They're
Mm-hmm.
2 hours from me. I go every weekend.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
know that you
yeah.
you were really helpful with your daughter. I mean, you're like the mom of the century. I mean,
Oh,
to be able to support her, and I was just so moved by the story of how you supported her. I want you to share this story really quickly because some people, you don't really know how to deal when somebody's going through something difficult. You really don't know what to say to them. So you constantly ask them, are you okay? Right?
yeah.
And the people that are going through whatever turmoil, whatever grief or tragedy that they're going through, they really don't want to hear, are you okay? Because then they've
Yes.
got to re-explain it all over again,
Over and
right?
over.
And then they're reliving it as they're re-explaining it. But they don't want to be rude. But you were phenomenal on how you handled that. And I want you to share with them. And then we're going to have to close. But I
And then
want
we'll
you to
go.
share with them.
Okay. Um, a very good friend of mine, and you and I both know who she is without saying her name, had told me once that when you're sick, especially with something like cancer, everybody asks you how you are. And sometimes you get that moment of peace where you forget that you're sick. And somebody interrupts that with, how are you doing?
That's right.
And you lose it. And those moments are so few and precious when you're in that situation. And so, I always told my daughter and my son-in-law, Ryan, I don't ask how you're doing or how things are because I don't care. I don't ask because I'm on a need to know basis. If I need to know, I know you'll tell me. Otherwise, I won't ask because I don't want to take away their moments of peace and make them keep explaining things over and over. And, they tried to avoid that by like having a Facebook page and putting updates, but, and we all mean well. And you
Yeah.
don't want someone to think you don't care because you're not asking. And my husband and I would constantly say to them, don't think we don't ask because we don't care. You guys know the deal. And that was just kind of our unwritten rule of, if we need to know something, you call and tell us. If not, then we're good with that. And it was hard sometimes not
It is
to,
hard. Yeah.
and Ryan passed during COVID. And so, there was no funeral and family wasn't allowed in. And a lot of people who were really close to him didn't get to say goodbye. And it was really hard.
Darn Corona.
I know. I missed Corona completely in the beginning because I was at my daughter's house. I lived there pretty much for the first month after Ryan passed, doing nothing much but just being a body in the house. Yeah, that was. I mean, and that's all I could do.
Yeah.
And and to this day, she has good days, she has bad. But she has to be the most incredibly strong woman I have known in my entire life
Well,
to
look who
handle.
raised her. Look who raised her.
I don't know.
You are amazing. You are amazing. And I just in the few conversations, and I didn't get to spend a lot of time with you when we competed together. And it's not even a competition, but when I met you as a friend, but you have inspired me. You have taught me in just the few conversations that we've had so much about being a woman and being a mother. And you're incredible. You're incredible.
Thank
You should
you.
really pat yourself on the
Thank
back.
you.
You're incredible. You can bring tears to my eyes.
Thank
Anyway,
you. I'm
but
trying to not
that
cry
was
today.
that was one of the really strong lessons that I had learned from you is not to ask, I mean, and I'm uncomfortable with things like that. And not to ask, how are you doing? But somebody had posted, how can I support you? Or just not say anything at all and let them come to you, and that was a great lesson because that has helped me even in the last few months with other relationships that I
Oh,
have.
God.
So thank you. Thank you. And I know that you have touched the hundreds of people that have signed on. I keep getting hearts. So they
I'm
really
really
like you.
awesome. I can see you.
Not that there's nothing there to like, but you're amazing and you have blessed and touched my soul. And I am so grateful and so happy that you came back on and shared your story again. And people out there, you need to just be positive and manifest, because look at this lady. She has manifested this 5,000 square foot house as an empty
Wasn't easy.
nester. But thank
And
you
a
so
husband
much,
to clean
Debbie.
it.
Yes, for joining us, and you are stunning. And I'm so happy we got to actually see you this
Thank
time.
you.
And and thank you for spending your Friday morning with me. I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
you are so welcome. And we'll see you hopefully in November.
Yes, yes,
So excited.
definitely. We'll see you in
Fall in the
November.
desert. It's going to be different.
Yes. Yeah, if California will let us in. Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
We're manifesting that it will.
It will. It will. I write in my journal, it's time to pass the title on.
Yeah.
It's time.
We'd be happy if you kept it too.
I know. I love you dearly. Thank you so much. And I will chat with you soon. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for having me.
Thanks. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining my show today, Changes, Transitions with Grace. I hope that talking to Debbie and hearing from Debbie, or me talking to Debbie and you hearing from Debbie, was helpful in believing in positive energy and believing that you have the power to control what it is that you want in your life. And just a quick story, as I could taste being Mrs. Classy Globe. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted this platform. I wanted to grow and help the WIN organization. I wanted to work closely with Dr. Tracy. And I thought about it, wrote about it, dreamed about it. And I was, by the grace of God and the universe, everything fell right into place. And I was crowned with this amazing honor of being Miss Classique Globe 2019. And it has made such a difference in my life, and having this Globe family has made such a difference. So please, if there is something that you really need and you really want and you really believe it within your soul, in the pit of your stomach, you can manifest it. Thank you so much for signing on, and I will see you all next week. This is Andrea Kilpatrick, Mrs. Classique Globe 2019, signing off, and we'll see you next Friday. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.